Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Andrea Ogono, and I'm in Year 6, and I'm a student of Solynta Academy. Today, I'm going to be giving you a demonstration on how I would do my lessons on a daily basis. I need to share my screen. Board. And you can see the different tabs like summary, subjects, projects, business reading, and timetable. But since I want to start my lessons for the day, I'm going to go into the timetable to see which classes I have for the day. I'm going to select the week, and it is currently week 31. Okay. Well, I think there's an issue with the week because this is actually meant to be midterm break, so I can't access the lessons for this week. So I'm just going to access the lessons for the previous week. Okay, now you can see my lessons. I'm going to do a math lesson on Monday. I'm going to start the lesson. Now the lesson has started, and it's going into the first phase, which is the diagnostic, where it asks you different questions to assess your knowledge of the topic. So first it's asking me, what is the definition of an angle? I'm just going to write an angle is a line segment of a shape. Then I can send that. So I actually got this question wrong, and you can see the AI is telling me that an angle is a fundamental concept in geometry, and it's great that I'm trying, but I haven't quite gotten it right. So it's now asking me, what are the three main types of angles? So I wrote the three main types of angles are acute angles, obtuse angles, and right angles. It showed excellent. You've correctly identified the three main types of angles. Now it's asking me to name a common 2D shape that has three sides. So I'm just going to write a triangle. Now, in this question, the reason why I was marked wrong is because I didn't give any explanation when I gave my answer. You're meant to write in full sentences so the AI can know if you really have a lot of knowledge about the topic. So now it's asked me, what is a polygon? So I'm going to write, I don't know what a polygon is. So as you can see, this is the last question in a diagnostic test. Imagine you have a shape with 4 equal sides and 4 equal corners. What do we call that shape? I'm going to write a square. Now that I'm done with the assessment, it's time to start the actual lesson. Now it's giving me my lesson, and as you can see, I am a level 2 based on my answers in the diagnostic. So it's asking me, What would you like to learn about first, or do you have any questions about angles and shapes? So we can we can learn about anything. Now it has given me these three shapes: a red circle, blue square, and yellow star. It's saying, what do you notice about these shapes? Do any of them look familiar? So I'm going to say yes. All of the shapes look familiar. I have seen them. Now it's explaining to me that we'll learn about different shapes and their special features like their sides and corners. So I'm starting with a square, and it says a square has four sides that are the exact same length. It also has four corners, and each corner is also a special type of angle called a right angle. Now it's asking me, can I think of anything in my home or at school that is shaped like a square? Yes. I have a hand mirror that is shaped like a square. That's a fantastic example, Andrea. A hand mirror is often shaped like a square. You're doing great at spotting shapes in the real world. Now, a circle is perfectly round. It doesn't have any straight or sharp corners. Think about things you see every day. Can you name something that is shaped like a circle? I've written an object that is shaped like a circle is a paper ball. A paper ball is a great example of something that can be circular. Now let's look at the star. Each point is formed where two lines meet. You see stars on flags, in drawings, and sometimes on decorations. Can you think can you think of a place where you see a star shape? So I've written, yes, in Christmas festivals, I always see star shapes because they are on top of trees. That's a perfect place to see stars, Andrea. Many Christmas trees have a star on them. Now let's talk about angles. An angle is formed when two lines or rays meet at a point. So the corner of a square is a special type of angle. We call it a right angle. It looks like the corner of a book or a door. Can you find can you find a right angle where you live? I've written yes, a bookshelf has a right angle as its corner. A bookshelf is a perfect example of a right angle, Andrea. An angle that is smaller than a right angle is called an acute angle. It's like the shape when you open a scissors and you use it for crafts. Now, can you think of another object that might have acute angles? I wrote, yes, a clock when it is faced at 2 o'clock forms an acute angle. That's a fantastic example, Andrea. 2 o'clock, the hands of a clock form a narrow acute angle. Now let's think about the opposite of an acute angle. An angle that is wider than a right angle is called an obtuse angle. It is a wide or blunt angle. Think of it as a door that is just open a little bit. It makes an obtuse angle with the wall. Can you imagine an object where you might find an obtuse angle? So I'm going to write, I can't think of any objects with obtuse angles. It's okay, Andrea. Thinking of new examples can be tricky sometimes. Let's try to find an obtuse angle together. Remember, an obtuse angle is wider than a right angle, like a big open mouth. Think about a pizza. When you pull a slice away from the rest, the crust forms an angle. Most pizza slices have an angle that is an obtuse angle. Does this idea of pizza slicing help you picture an obtuse angle? Yes, it does. Now it's started to explain about a triangle. A triangle is a shape with 3 sides. It also has 3 angles. The angles inside a triangle can be different. Some triangles have all acute angles. Others might have one right angle. Can you think of a common object that is shaped like a triangle? So I wrote, yes, a pyramid is shaped like a triangle, but in 3D form. That's a super smart connection, Andrea. A pyramid does have triangular faces. Now, what shape is a stop sign? A circle. That's a great guess, Andrea. Stop signs are very important, but a stop sign isn't round like a circle. Think about the shape of a stop sign. It has straight sides and pointy angles. What flat shape has straight sides and pointy corners, Andrea? You're so close, Andrea. A stop sign is a shape with straight sides and pointy corners. A shape which is called a square. A stop sign is usually a special type of shape called an octagon. An octagon has 8 sides. Can you think of another object that is shaped like a triangle? I'm going to write, no, I can't think of any other shapes. I can't think of any other objects. Andrea, that's perfectly okay not to remember everything right away. Learning new things takes time. Let's break down what a polygon is. A polygon is a flat shape. It has no straight sides that connect end to end. They form a closed path. Think of a shape like a square or a hexagon. These are all polygons. Does that explanation help a bit? Yes, the X. It's wonderful to hear, Andrea. I'm so glad these explanations are helping you. Think about this, the shape of a pizza slice. What shape is the slice? A triangle. Andrea, that's a great answer. A triangle is indeed a common 3D shape with three sides. You're doing a fantastic job with these shapes. We've covered a lot about angles and shapes today. To make sure everything is clear, we will do a short quiz to check your understanding. So now I'm done with the lesson phase of this lesson and I'm moving on to the end of lesson quiz. So it says, which of the following shapes has at least one line of symmetry and all angles are equal? So I'm going to pick option C, which is an equilateral triangle. That was correct. Now it has asked me that if two angles measure 50 and 60, what is the measure of the third angle? So from this lesson, I know that a triangle's angles are 180 degrees. So 50 plus 60 is 110, and 180 minus 110 is 70. So I'm going to pick option A. That is correct. Now, a quadrilateral with 4 equal sides and 4 right angles is classified as a what? I'm going to put option C, which is a square. That is correct. Now, which geometric property describes how a shape can be folded onto itself so that both halves match exactly? That is reflectional symmetry, option B. And that is correct. Now I've moved into the fill in the blank questions. A shape with 3 sides and 3 angles is called a triangle. That is correct. Now the sum of the interior angles in a triangle is always dash degrees. I'm going to put 180. That is correct. Now a shape that has a rotational symmetry order of 2 can be rotated by 180 to match itself, demonstrating dash symmetry. That is lines of symmetry. Now, I got the answer wrong. As you can see, the word that they were looking for was rotational. Now, it says, describe the properties of a rectangle in terms of its angles and sides. So I'm going to write, a rectangle has 3 sides and 3 corners. 2 of the sides are parallel and all the angles sum up to 180 degrees. Okay, so now I got this answer wrong because I didn't include all the details about the rectangle. Now, if one angle in an isosceles triangle is 100 degrees, what are the possible measures for the other two angles? The possible measures for the other two angles are 30 degrees each, as a triangle has 180 degrees, and with 100 being taken, there is 80 left, and 80 divided by 2 is 40. I got that answer correct. Now it says, explain the difference between a square and a rhombus based on their angles. I'm going to write, I don't know the answer. And obviously mark me wrong because I didn't provide the answer. Now it's preparing a comprehensive performance with detailed reports based on my score and how I did the lesson. So as you can see, I got 7 out of 10 on the quiz. Fill in the blank, I got 100%. Sorry, multiple choice, I got 100%. Fill in the blank, I got 66%. And short answer, I got 33%. So it's showing my areas of strength, concept mastery, analysis, and personalized feedback. So I'm just going to type OK. And then soon the option to end the lesson is now available. So I can just end the lesson. Now it's taking me directly back to my dashboard, and as you can see, my first subject has popped up here in the completed tab, and my quiz average for the day is now 70% because I scored 70%. So this is basically how lessons work on Solynta Academy. It gives all students full knowledge about every single topic they're meant to know. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye.